Ms. Willoughby, and start off with here on this. Mr. Cook, I appreciate the return call and your time. And yes, we just call and leave word on my machine when we can have a date. I would like to have a meeting within the next couple of weeks. I'm sure you'd like to get it over with too. All we need is about 20 minutes. At the same time, if you like, I'd like to invite Michelle Cook if she wants to. I believe when you are talking about someone, they should have the right to be there to defend themselves. I believe in transparency and wide open with that, okay? So please just leave word on my machine, what date and time, and we'll meet your date and time, and you can invite her too. Okay, let's move on to this. CCP funds, okay? When I called them, man, those people are very nervous over there. They don't answer questions. I invited them to be on the show, and the response I got from them was unacceptable, totally unacceptable here. And when I get a response, I want a name. I don't want to partner with Cher. You know, I don't want a group answer me. I hide behind. I don't want a name. But anyway, the response is unacceptable. There's a lot of money being dealt out. I'm getting a lot of calls to our show that money's not going to the right people, and things are kind of shady there, real shady, especially when council took away the independent people that oversaw the money and put themselves in charge. And then they complain they're overworked and want a raise. Okay, another thing on the CCP fund. I got a question. Should Gina Bibbins be sitting on that board while criminal charges are filed against her? I think she should excuse herself from that board until this investigation is over. That's part of the CCP fund, city council. My thing says city council.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going, Bob.
Attorney.
You want to finish your comments? Would you like to finish?
Okay, let's go on then.
Just
You're not going to let me speak. Okay, let's move it to the next one then. Let me speak. How about the next one? Okay. POA. And city council members, okay? We okay there? Boy, he can barely speak here, I tell you. You know what? I used to come down here for y'all over here. Let's see if we can still do this or not. You used to be able to put a picture on the screen. Can you still do that? We'll not do that. Just put the POA. POA on there. That's the point. I'm not endorsing any candidates. This all just makes a picture and talks about the POA because they took down this sign, $140, okay?
When you move to 5, I'll answer your question.
But the sign is about, we need to get the POA to quit buying candidates, okay? And I've asked the police chief, and I don't get a response. And that's another thing. I want to invite the police chief to a meeting here in the near future. We'll see if he comes. Oh, we got 30 seconds left. But anyway, this is what's going on. Mr. Blaylock would be placed in Mr. Moon's replacement. He won't be elected, he'll be placed because of these people right here. They buy, the POA needs to stop paying millions in POA dues to the POA. The police needs to stop paying them millions because the POA uses that money and buys candidates like this one here. They need to get out of that business to help us get real council members up here. Okay?
Thanks,
right.
Bob.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Dan Hayes.
Move to District 5 and I'll talk to you on your show.
Got your way here.
My name is George Vernon Childs. My residence address is number 742901 Travis Avenue, Fort Worth. On the 12th, a call-in public comment referred to 3 council members being in disfavor with the POA because they voted their conscience about a third Bearcat. The conscience part seemed to sum it up so well that I decided to file off the serial numbers and act like I thought of it myself. A handbook for police union leaders titled Police Union Power, Politics and Confrontation in the 21st Century, 2nd edition, clearly shows that it is flatly impossible for any elected representative of the public to vote his or her conscience against a police union's goals on any subject and not incur its wrath for 2 reasons. The first reason is what a police union expects in a candidate, found in the following statement in that book. Quote, police unions should endorse candidates based on the candidate's position on the organization's goals, unquote. So an endorsed successful candidate going against any of these goals would be just plain treason. On the part of an unendorsed elected official, it would be a clearly hostile act. No reason, not conscience or anything else, can change that dynamic. So much for the part conscience plays in what unions expect of others, which is to say none whatsoever. The answer is the same for what the public can expect of conscience influencing any union's decision. The guidebook counsels union leaders, quote, you've got to leave all of mama's childhood preachings outside the front door of the union hall, unquote. It goes on to state, a union leader must throw out all those traditional notions of right and wrong. I'm going to say that again. A union leader must throw out all of those traditional notions of right and wrong. I believe that conscience is generally viewed as being inculcated by social example and influence, that is a result of nurture, not nature. Is there a more prevalent and enduring symbol of nurture than motherhood, the source of all those mama's preachings, which union leaders must cast aside? This book, co-authored by the person who has negotiated every POA contract with the city of Fort Worth, orders union leaders to cut the very fabric of conscience to pieces. So, of course, the concept of conscience would be not just foreign to them, but highly dangerous as well. Is this not warning enough to the voters of Fort Worth about what a PA endorsement actually means?
Mayor and council members, fellow citizens and neighbors, I brought this bowl of apples. Pretty good looking, colorful apples. We start trying to figure out where the bad apples are. It's real easy to get kind of glossed over and not pay attention. I'm going to help you a lot tonight, I hope. I have the list of bad apples right here, underneath all these pretty apples, hopefully. This is a list I mentioned before. There are 1,400 criminal offenses on this list. They represent current Fort Worth police officers between the rank of rookie and assistant deputy chief. What percentage of the Fort Worth police force do you think is on this list? Because any one offense on this list would get an employee terminated from any other department in the city. Any offense on this list will get an employee terminated in the corporate world too. It's not 2% or 4% or 9%. It's 15%. That means that there are about 1,400 officers that we could still consider very good apples. There are 249 officers on this list. I still do not believe that a paid police oversight committee or a police monitor could begin to put a dent on this list. Notably, Aaron Dean is not on this list, nor are any of the officers that were recently terminated, nor any of the officers that have made the newspaper in the last 10 years. None of them. When an officer is exposed or prosecuted or dismissed or fired, and they make the newspaper, they don't stay on this list. The purpose of this list is so that the police department and the district attorney knows who will not make a reliable witness with integrity. And we're paying for them. This represents more than $22 million in payroll and labor burden. The offenses are offensive: sexual assault, official oppression, excessive use of force, theft, tampering with evidence, tampering with property, improper use of handcuffs, sex in city property vehicles. Dozens of offenses, including federal felonies and a number of state felonies, are on the list. I want to encourage you to remember that as we continue to kick the can down the road, waiting for the murder trial of Aaron Dean, that amongst our good cops are dozens, hundreds of bad cops that they're afraid to speak out against. And if you compare this list to the Fort Worth Police Officer Association membership, you're going to see tons of overlap.
C 220857.
Can we put it on the screen now? Is it still there?
It's coming up.
All right, thank you. All right. Now I'm on the right topic, I guess. Our elections, local elections, are being undermined big time by the POA Association, Star Telegram, and the Firefighter Association too. When I talked to the president of the Firefighter Association, I even liked him worse. What's going on with the association and stuff is they give donations and endorsements to candidates, undermining our local election. And it's not good when they put their name out there with these candidates. We should select our own candidates in the neighborhood. Neighbors should select their council members, not these people putting big money in there and undermining us, okay? Now, what they should do, I'm sure there's something else they can do with their stuff to help the firefighters, okay? Other than buying candidates. Maybe ice cream and cake would be all right with me. Anything but candidates. It's hard to run in these offices when you got these people undermining you. It looks good when they got their name, firefighter supports a council member like they're someone. They're not. And the Firefighter Association has been coming nothing but a special interest group masquerading as a firefighter association. Let's get this picture. You would, please. I'm sure it's all right, so we can see that. Is that any better than my voice?
There you go. There it is.
Can you read that?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. You're a professional there. You see what I mean? Now, the Firefighter Association did not interview one other candidate running in District 5 for council. Not one. There were 5 people running. Did they reach out and talk to them? None. But nevertheless, they don't need to. They don't need to be endorsing candidates. Is what they don't need to be doing. This is like Chicago. I had a pleasure to work in the 90s on a lot of concert tours and seen a lot of cities. And the beautiful thing was when I got home from going through Chicago and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and seeing the slum and stuff, when I came to Fort Worth in the 90s, it wasn't like that here. And I thought it never would be. But it's turning that way quickly with this kind of stuff right here. And until we get this out of our elections, it's hurting, especially the POA. But we're not talking about it. It'd be off subject to talk about POA, I guess, because she'll stop me real quick, okay? But I want to tell you, the president of POA is becoming a commissioner for giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to candidates. It's all a big payoff. Get out of the candidate business. I like the Fire Chief James Davis. I think he's doing a great job. But this crap's got to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.